Hello, Logic Kid here, and welcome to the Resistor episode. So what I'm gonna be doing today is reviewing this guy right here. This guy. Why I called this thing a resistor is not because it's actually a resistor, it's just that it doesn't actually decrease the output or do whatever to the output. It does that, but it increases the output to whatever, or like it shows an output to whatever you want. You can. It's really hard to explain, but it's not a resistor, but it's close to it, I guess. It's kind of close. I don't know. It's kind of close. It's like an IRL resistor, but it's not, I guess. I don't know. It's weird. But yeah, all this thing does just outputs a pulse to whatever you want. With your resistor, I don't know much about electronics, but yeah, I don't know. Um, I'm guessing it just makes a output to whatever it's colored of, like the colors on the side of the resistors. Yeah, and it does that, like to the number. I'm clueless with these kind of things. It's not really a resistor, but I called it that because it's kind of close. So this resistor um has made it easier to encode a pulse without needing to rely on the input pulse. So the input, let's say, can be one tick pulse. This encodes a one tick pulse into the resistor, and then that is the output. But this is a timer that you can put whatever number into it, and it will output whatever pulse you want, which can be either a second, it can either be 20 ticks, it can be anything. Well, yeah, legit anything if you hook it up correctly. That's pretty much it for the resistor, and this then goes into the decoder, which can decode the pulse, which it is set to 1 second. Now, if I hit this button, it should encode it, decode it, and get an output right there. So, yeah. What I'm going to say now is that this resistor, you can call it quote unquote resistor because it's actually not a resistor, but it's something to do with that. And then, let's say this memory bit, the resistor is the memory bit plus the encoder, which is pretty much that, because as you can probably not see, there is a decoder in here. No, what am I on about? There is a memory bit hidden inside the resistor, and an encoder, which is something like this. And all this resistor really does is, as soon as there's an input, it will output a pulse. Oh, no. It will trigger this memory bit, turning it on. Then it will go into the encoder. It will encode a pulse, and as soon as that pulse is up, it will turn off this memory bit, but also disallow any input, meaning it can continue the pulse output and go into the decoder. So yeah, that's pretty much all it does. So, like I said, the pros are the input can be whatever pulse going into the resistor. If the input, the cons are, if the input is larger than the output, the resistor will only release one output. So what I mean by that is, if I go to the encoder over here and I input, also by the way, the resistor can only hold one input, just because if the two inputs are on, that means it might ruin the XOR gate's output. So don't do that. Only do one input. So, and you can't change the OR gate because that's how it works. So, the encoder will output a pulse that's higher than this, timer, right? The output of the resistor, right? So, let's say I do 2 seconds worth of time. I input 2 seconds of time into the resistor, into the resistor, and it will only do 1 output from the encoder, which is good and bad at the same time. But I think you would really most want it to be 2 separate of the same input. I don't know. It's probably a pro, but I don't know. It's weird. If you hold it, it will only do 1 output, as you just saw. So yeah, that's the output of the decoder, and it's only flashed once. So yeah, that's pretty much it. But I'm just gonna say a little bit about the task of making this was kind of hell. But not as bad as my other creations that I've created. So this component took a long time to create due to the thought of making it and also not having any drawing to go off, which was my fault. Now I'm going to grade this component as 4th, just because it's a really good machine. It's a really good component. Yeah, I may use it sometime later on in other creations, a year and 3 months from now, which I've actually done the math for. So yes, that's gonna be a long time away. Just because I'm gonna build creations and things like that, like really interesting creations. So yeah, that's that. And yeah, it's about it. Also, nothing has been sent over here, sadly, so I'm not gonna get any more upgrades. So yeah, I'm gonna be sat like this in this kind of view for a long time, and I'm still 100%, but I don't know. I don't know if I go down to 0%, I die or something. So I might have to recharge a few times. Anyways. Yes, by the way, this video's out on probably Saturday or Sunday. Just because I'm not going to be uploading next Wednesday, just because I can't. Okay. So yeah, it has been Logic Kid, and I hope you have a good rest of your day. See ya.